Hello everyone, welcome back to the second channel. As always, I have a bunch of topics that I want to go over today. The video will be timestamped as always. Sorry for any background noise or dust particles that may occur throughout this video. And let's get into it. So first up, I wanted to talk about some predictions for Taylor Swift's Midnights, or basically just like what I want the album to sound like and what tracks I'm looking forward to the most and all of that. And I kind of wanted to get this done now because the album is going to be coming out this upcoming Friday. I mean, technically Thursday night, but whatever. So basically, I will have the track list on the screen right next to me just so you can see all the track names because they have been announced recently. And so I made a community post on which tracks I'm claiming. So I said that I'm going to be claiming You're On Your Own, Kid, and Bejeweled. Those are the ones that really fascinated me a lot based on the title and everything. Track 5s are notorious for being some of her like most personal songs and some of her best in terms of the songwriting. So I will be claiming that one this time around. Tolerated from Evermore was excellent. It's one of her best track 5s in my opinion. And I think that that's a hot take, but just lyrically phenomenal. I really enjoyed that song, right? My Cheers Ricochet, I mean, track 5s are just excellent. So with the title, I'm just very intrigued to hear what this one is going to sound like. And Bejeweled is just really fascinating to me. Everyone brought up the Reputation era whenever she did the Look What You Made Me Do video, whenever she's in the bathtub with like all that jewelry and stuff. Really excited to hear what this track sounds like. I also said I have my eyes on Maroon, which is going to be the second track on this album. The reason why, even though the title is basic, she never has missed with a track 2 once. Like hit after hit after hit with the track 2s. And so therefore I'm like, you know what, I got my eyes on that one, because that might be a hit. That might be a hit. Like it just might eat. It might be a favorite for me. So that's why I have it on there. And I also said Midnight Rain was very interesting as well. And I'm just gonna look at the track list again to see if I have anything else I want to throw in there really quickly. So I'll throw Karma in there as something I'm interested to hear, because there was that whole thing about people saying that she had an album in between the 1989 and like Reputation era that she did, but then she scrapped it and did Reputation. Like that's a whole rumor that goes on. And I don't know if that's true or not. I'm leaning more towards that's not true. But I mean, after she announced it, she giggled. So she's online a lot. Like she knows these things. So maybe she just wrote that track because the fans were talking about it. I was like, you guys want something Karma related or whatever? Might as well write a song about it. I don't know. I would really like to hear how she was inspired with that track. So those are the songs that I have like my eyes on the most. And in terms of what I want from this album, I would love to have another pop album from Taylor. I feel like we're due for another pop album because the last one was Lover in 2019, which is a great album by the way that I do enjoy. And don't get me wrong, I do love Folklore and Evermore. Those are her 2 best records in my opinion in terms of the songwriting. And it's just really amazing what she was able to achieve with those 2 records. I really would like to have something pop again. But if this album does end up being, you know, indie, folk, alternative, whatever it is, I'm not going to be disappointed at all because I did really enjoy those 2 records, but it would really be nice to have something pop once again. So I'm really hoping that this is a pop album, but I don't really have any expectations for what this album is going to sound like. We're just going to have to wait and listen, so I'm not going to make any bold claims. I wouldn't mind a country song thrown in there. Betty was on Folklore. I really enjoyed that song, so that's kind of what I would like to hear sonically, but I'm still really intrigued. Then there's going to be a collaboration with Lana Del Rey on this album, the Snow on the Beach track. As I said before a bit ago, I really don't care for Lana Del Rey's music too much. I could just never enjoy it. Her voice just is not something I enjoy listening to. I hear she's quite the songwriter, so definitely shout out to her as the songwriter there, but I could just never really gel with her music. So I'm not necessarily really excited to listen to this collaboration if I'm honest. I would guess that she's probably going to give Lana a full verse because fans have been saying they want a collaboration between both of them for years. And then if we finally get it and she doesn't have a verse, people are going to feel a way about that. Like, so I feel like Lana's going to have a verse or 2. Maybe it's going to be a more evenly keeled collaboration in terms of that. And so maybe I could end up liking this song. So I feel like I would like it more if she was just on background vocals because her voice just isn't for me, like I've said. But I'm expecting her to have a verse. That's what I would say there. And maybe this track will prove me wrong. You know, Ed Sheeran, that Run song that she did with him for Red TV, I was not expecting to like that song at all. Like, I went in expecting to hate. But I actually thought that that song was good. So maybe there's a chance for me to like this collaboration with Lana, but I'm not necessarily banking on it. She also did talk a little bit about some of the tracks. Like she said, Anti-Hero is something that was kind of like more so about her and her insecurities. I believe something around there. And then she said Lavender Haze was kind of ignoring like speculations about like her relationship and all that kind of stuff and just focusing on being happy. I think that's what she said. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember what she said 100%, so if I'm wrong, correct me down below in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's what she said there. I wanted to share my thoughts on not having a single for this album before it's released. A lot of people feel a way about that. Would I have liked to have a single before the album came out? Of course. But at the same time, I also really like going into albums and having no idea what it's going to sound like, having no preconceived notions, and just being able to enjoy the music and everything. Also, a lot of times sometimes I lack self-control because it's like an artist releases a single and I enjoy it so much that I just play it, and then by the time the album comes out, I'm already sick of the song. So I kind of like that we're going to be going into everything fresh. And then there's some people that said like, oh, Taylor got so much hate in the past for her lead singles, and so she's like, I'm just not going to give you guys one anymore, and blah blah blah. And of course there's positives and negatives to that. We didn't get a lead single for Red TV either, and that album had a bigger debut than Folklore did, just because of like the curiosity in terms of how the tracks were going to sound, and there were so many and everything. And then the whole thing about her getting hate for her past lead singles. Can I enjoy the song Me? Sure. Was the hate deserved? Maybe the hate was kind of deserved. Like, honestly, it does sound like a kid's song. Like I said, I don't think it's the worst song on Lover. That's I Think He Knows. I've never been able to enjoy that song at all. I just think that that song sucks, right? And then I don't really listen to Me because Brendan Urie is on that song and I don't like him as a person. As a song, do I think it's horrible? No. Do I think it should have been the lead single? No. Obviously, it should have been Cruel Summer. We know this. People talk about this every single week. I think if it was an album track, it wouldn't have got nearly as much of the hate as it did. But when you have this as the lead single, like, this is what the album is going to sound like, I can understand why she got the backlash for the song that she did. And I wouldn't necessarily blame her also for not releasing another single, because it's like, you know, you see the documentary, how happy she was making it, and then that reception, I can get how it would kind of be jarring in that regard. So that's kind of like my thoughts there in terms of that. On the album cover, because I didn't talk about this whenever I mentioned she had a new album coming out, but I do have some thoughts on there. So I'm kind of feeling two ways about it. You know, there's all the songs on the front, and as somebody stated, in like the 60s, I believe, they used to do this for artists. You know, they would have all the tracks and just a picture of them on the front. And so I think it's kind of something that's cool. I think it's something that's retro, like a nod to that era, and I really like that as well. And so I like that aspect about the cover. The picture, however, don't like the picture at all, if I'm honest. I really think that the picture she used for the Jade Green variant of this album, that one should have been the album cover. In my personal opinion, that one would have been the one. This album cover, it's just okay. I've seen worse album covers, I've seen better album covers. Is it one of my favorite album covers from her? No.
I forgot to add that I saw some people say that this cover was giving Pixar, and honestly I get exactly what they mean. I feel like people might like the cover better, myself included, if she didn't have like that white part on the outside of it. Like if she would have just had the cover be that picture and then had the text over it. Maybe that could make it better, though I get why she did it like this. And I think that this is something I can get used to with time.
But I'm wondering how it represents the album as a whole. I wonder what kind of vibe that we're going to get. You know, she had the whole like Midnight Mayhem with Me, I believe that's what it's called, on like her TikTok and Instagram, basically, where she would just post a video and she would announce the tracks. And I kind of see like outfits that she's wearing, and I kind of see the general vibe that she wants for this era and like the aesthetic, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very much giving me like that 60s, 70s like time period. And I love what she's doing there. I really love that time period very, very much. Just psychedelic, just cool, just like the fashion. So I really like it. And she said in her documentary about how as a female artist, you know, you have to find like all these little parts of yourself and find a way to make yourself interesting but new to people, and something that is challenging but interesting, basically something around there. And she really manages to do that every single era. So I really like what she's done with this era overall. And it's just about time for new music. Still very excited for the rest of the re-recordings. Of course, I will be doing videos on those whenever they come out, but I can kind of understand her being like, hey, it's time to drop a new record, because who knows how long she's been sitting on these songs for one, and she has that whole trial going on with Shake It Off and all that kind of stuff. I think there's stuff happening with Speak Now, at least that's what I read. And so yeah, so probably while we're in limbo waiting for that, she was like, might as well give you guys a new album. And so I'm just very excited to hear the soundscape that she's going. And there is going to be a bonus track for this album. I forgot what it is called. I'll probably have it on the screen right above me. So I'm definitely excited to hear that. It'll probably come on streaming services like months afterward, like what happened with Folklore, for example. Also, another thing about this album that's interesting is I believe it's only like 45 minutes. Like it has like a short length or something like that. And I did see some people feeling a way about that. And so one thing about me, I always really appreciate albums that length. There's been so many amazing albums that are like 40 to 50 minutes, and like every single track is a banger. So I would rather have it be that kind of situation versus an album that's way too long and I'm like skip. That's kind of like how I feel about it. And so yeah, that is what I would like to see from the Midnight's album. I know she's going to be appearing on a bunch of talk shows, so more stories and more info is to come, but that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. And of course, whenever the album comes out, I am planning to do album reaction on the main channel and give you guys my thoughts there. But I figured I would come on here and just give you guys some thoughts before we went to the record. I'd really like to know which songs you guys are excited to hear in terms of that. So I just happened to check Instagram, and Taylor just posted a few special announcements regarding the album, so I'll have that on the screen right above me. But like I said, she's gonna have some talk show appearances, right? but it says that she's going to have a special, very chaotic surprise, so I wonder what that is supposed to mean. And she's going to be premiering the music video for her song Anti-Hero, so excited to watch that. I'll probably do that for this channel since I'm going to be reacting to the song on the main channel, and that's normally what I do. And then she said she has a second music video coming out as well, so very excited to see everything that comes out regarding this album, and that's definitely something I had to add.
I realized that the second music video is coming out on October 25th. To those who do not know, October 25th is my birthday, and when my birthday comes around, I just don't really like to do any like YouTube related stuff. I just take that day for me. It's my special day, and so because of that, basically I'm not going to be doing a reaction to the second music video on that day. I might do it the day after. It's going to be tricky just because it'll probably get spoiled for me on Twitter, at least part of it. So I could do it the day after, or I could just not do a reaction to the second music video at all on this channel. We're gonna have to see how that goes. So I just saw a few things that I wanted to add in. So I did see something about a tour in the UK. Basically, the tour has been kind of confirmed. I would guess that is what the announcement is about because I've heard rumors about it or whatever, but it was something about the UK and pre-sale codes and stuff like that. So waiting on more information on that, and we will see what happens there. And then I also saw that they're having some of the lyrics for some of the songs on Midnight's Beyond Display, and I'm trying to avoid those so I don't really spoil the album for myself.
Next up, Patti LaBelle has announced that Mariah is going to be on her new album. Very excited to hear this. And seeing that also reminded me that Mariah is going to be working with the Clark sisters because they announced that, and I believe she's going to be on their new album, something around there. Very excited for everything that Mariah has going on. She said all these multiple projects are coming, and so 2023, I think that's going to be a great year for the Lamb, so I definitely wanted to share that. Next thing that I want to talk about, SZA. Apparently new music is coming soon, and I know we hear this a lot of times in reference to SZA, and we're like, yeah, right. But recently she did say that her song Shirt is about to come out. She said it was supposed to have been out already, but basically she saw some shots in the music video and she didn't like them, so they edited them out and fixed it, and she said that she turned it in, and so the song is about to come out. I don't know when because she didn't give us an exact date, but I really hope that we're about to get this song because I've been looking forward to this for so long. Like, we heard the snippet, it feels like forever ago. Like, I remember it being at the end of the Good Days music video, I'm pretty sure. And I think we even knew about it before then because I'm pretty sure that snippet resurfaced, and I think she was like, oh, you guys like it? And then she was like, let me turn it into a full song. So we have been waiting for at least over a year for the song, I'm pretty sure. So I'm excited for whenever it finally does come out and for her new album and everything. Do I think we're getting a new SZA album this year? I wouldn't count on it. I would not count on it. How many times has she said her album is coming and it is not coming? And I feel like it basically falls on TDE for not releasing this album sooner and whatever, because she keeps saying that it's them. So at this point, I'm gonna believe that she wants to release it and they're the ones in the way. So I do hope that we get a SZA album this year. I would really love it. Of course, I would do an album reaction on the main channel for it and everything. But at the very least, I hope that we get Sure this year because the snippet, excellent. Really enjoy that song.
So I just saw on Twitter earlier that Rihanna recorded 2 songs for the new Black Panther movie. I'm kind of curious to hear how those sound, and we will see what happens in regards to there. And then people are like, oh, she's still gonna release a new album, and there's rumors of a tour from her as well. So we will see what happens. I'll definitely keep my eyes out for what she's going to be doing. I do hope some new music is coming. I also wanted to add that I did see like the rumors that apparently Beyoncé is supposed to be doing a stadium tour next year as well. And that is also something I would love to go to because I love Renaissance. Beyoncé is an amazing performer, so hopefully all this stuff ends up being true, but I thought I would throw this in there. So I saw something about this on Twitter, and this is from The Sun, so take this with a grain of salt because a lot of the times apparently like they are not the best at reporting accurately and stuff like that. But basically I saw something and it was like saying that Janet was gonna go tour again, and it was mainly going to be Velvet Rope material to celebrate the 25th anniversary and some hits. And I swear I read something about her performing new material and them teasing that she's gonna release Black Diamond and stuff like that. I swear that's what I read. If that's true, I'm excited. I would definitely love to go see Janet on tour because she's one of my favorite artists of all time, and I would love to hear Black Diamond as well. So we will see kind of what happens in that regard, but I figured I would mention it.
Next up, I wanted to talk about Abbott Elementary. So season 2 just started. I believe the first 2 episodes of it are out. Absolutely excellent. I really love what they're doing with this season. They are still hilarious. It still has heart. Like, it's just excellent. Like, all the characters are really in their own. Like, the last episode that just happened, this is going to be a spoiler. So if you watch Abbott Elementary, you don't want to know what happens, skip past this part to the next part. Basically, they go over to Melissa's house because Janine doesn't know how to cook. So she teaches her how to cook. And then there's that whole thing with Janine saying like, oh, like, sisters aren't really on the best terms right now. And hearing about Melissa's sister and wanting them to reconnect. How Gregory kind of dealing with his situation in his classroom and everything. And this show was just so excellent. I saw this tweet and it was like, I love a good ensemble cast, and that's exactly what Abbott Elementary is, and that's why they won those Emmys. And more are to come. This show is just excellent. It's comforting. Every episode they just knock it out of the park with the writing. I think that they're only getting better with time, so I'm very excited for the next episode. But that's kind of like my review of the last episode. So excited for the rest of the season, especially because they have like 22 episodes now, I believe, so they're just gonna have a lot more content to give us. So I'm just really excited to see where they go with the scripts and everything. Next up, it's finally time to talk about Grey's Anatomy once again. They were off the roster for a few months because they were on a little hiatus, and then they just came back, and I just watched the 2 new episodes of the season today so I can have it fresh in my mind and give you guys a recap. So basically, I decided for the season of Grey's Anatomy, I'm not gonna put the character pictures next to me every single time I'm talking about one of them. One, because it takes longer to edit, and then I also have to send everything over to my computer and resave everything because I deleted it, and so I just don't feel like doing that. So I feel like most of you guys don't even watch the show anyways. If you do even watch this part of the video, you're just listening to hear my thoughts on it. So basically, my thoughts on the season mid, and I feel like this was kind of already expected. As I said, I'm gonna keep watching Grey's Anatomy just because I've watched it for so long. I have to see how the show ends. But I did write down a few notes that I remember, and I kind of wanted to share those with you all. First off, these new interns are not giving what they think that they're giving. The only one that I like is the black woman. She kind of seems interesting. The rest of the characters, I just do not care for them at all. Like, let's just get serious. You can tell that they're trying to recreate the magic of their other seasons with these interns, and it's just not working. They had a chance in season 9 with those interns. Those interns were excellent. Stephanie, I really hate that she left the show because she absolutely freaking ate. But they had such a great opportunity because it seemed like those characters, they had a story. They had something that I was going to be invested in. And then, you know, it went how it went there. And then this new crop just isn't giving at all. I still didn't even care about the last interns or residents or whatever that they really put on. They keep trying to make me care about Levi. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen. Helm, it's just not gonna happen. Like, they're just not interesting at all. And so now we're putting on new people. They're trying to put a band-aid on a wound, and it's just not working. So it's just not giving what they think it's gonna give in regards to that, for the most part, with the interns. Next up, Meredith is the chief now because Bailey went and took a sabbatical, so she's kind of dealing with the entire hospital and managing everything there. And something interesting that I read is that Krista Vernoff thinks that this show can continue without Ellen Pompeo being in it. Basically, she has something that she's gonna be in. I think it's on Hulu or whatever, so she's taking a step back from Grey's Anatomy. She's only gonna be in like 8 episodes, but she's still gonna be doing voiceovers in some of the episodes. And there's been episodes she hasn't been in them before, right? And it's just really focused on the other characters. And so that's definitely something to stay there. But I wanted to read a little bit of what Krista said because I thought it was interesting. Still, the show is called Grey's Anatomy for a reason. Were Pompeo to decide to keep playing Meredith in a limited role or to leave the show entirely, could it continue? Vernoff hesitated before answering. I think that this show has legs, she said. I think that Ellen is extraordinary, and she's been an extraordinary center of this show for a really, really long time. And if her career takes her in another direction, I believe that we've got a show here with a lot of amazing characters that our fans love, and this new class of interns is really exciting. So, do I think that she's that pivotal to the show at this point? No. As I said before, that woman has been checked out. She just shows up for the check. But it's kind of odd to picture a show called Grey's Anatomy without her in the show at all. So that's definitely some food for thought and something that I wanted to state there. And then Nick is going to be the residency director now. Meredith appointed him there. And then their relationship kind of fell to the wayside, and now they're about to go back out again. And I still don't care about the relationship. It's still boring to me. Like, he has not had a good love interest in seasons, and this is the one you guys pick. Are you actually kidding me? Like, it's just so boring to me. And then Maggie and Winston kind of had like work conflicts, and then they work it out there. And then I'm so sick of Teddy and Owen. Like, the first episode happened, and the very end of the episode, boom, they show up, and I was just like dreading it because I completely forgot that they existed. And then they came back, and I was just like, we have to do with them again. And then the ending of last season, basically, he was giving these drugs to patients. It was like assistant like suicide or whatever, basically, for those who are like really suffering and like they can't live life or whatever. And I believe it was like illegal where they live, and he wasn't supposed to do it or whatever. Then this one guy found out that he did it, and then he was like, oh, you need to do it for my wife. And he was like, no, we can't do it for your wife. And then he told, basically they got fired. And so basically they come back and they're like, oh, we had to spend a bunch of money on lawyers. The Owen's license is like suspended or something like that. So he literally has to have an attending watch every single thing that he does, and that's Teddy, and she drives him crazy. So then he basically asked to be like a teacher for the residency program or something like that, and Nick's like, yeah, you can do that. So that's kind of what's happening there, but I'm so sick of their dynamic. Like, they really ruined Teddy's character, and for what? Like, so many things in the show do not make sense. Owen's just grating at my nerves, so I'm so sick of them on the show already. Like, they should have been off the show. Like, they should have written them off. I do not care at this point. And then my overall thoughts on the first 2 episodes as a whole. Were they mid? Yes. Am I able to enjoy it more than last season? Yes. Is that saying a whole lot? No. And the reason why is I'm pretty sure it was last season where they had that whole thing where Meredith was in the coma for like a billion freaking episodes. And so that storyline just dragged on for so long, and last season was just horrible. So I think part of me is enjoying it more because that storyline is over and she's like active again and doing stuff. And that entire thing with the helping with the Parkinson's trial, I is that done? I think that that's done because she didn't go back to Minnesota, something around there. I forget how these things go because I forgot how last season ended. I didn't read a recap. I just watched these episodes because watching it was enough. But so yeah, I think because we have like new characters, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the new characters, they're trying to make it interesting. They're trying to do something different with it. And so I think it makes it more dynamic than last season. So as a whole, it could be better than last season. We'll just have to see, keep watching episode after episode. But that's kind of like my general thoughts on the first few episodes. And like I say, in these videos, I always give my recap of how I'm feeling about the episodes or whatever, just for fun. As the season continues to progress, I will share how I'm feeling about the episodes, but that's where I stand now after the first 2 episodes. Now it's time to recap all the videos I made on my main channel, Anastasia 25, and this channel in the month of September. So my first video was my reaction to Alicia Keys' The Diary of Alicia Keys Albums. Took me around 4 hours and 6 minutes to edit. So it took a lot out of me to record this video just because I had over 2 hours of footage to edit down. So that was already a lot to deal with right there. So basically I edited the first 10 songs the night that I recorded that video. So the next day I went and I edited the rest of them. Then I took a break and then I did my second edit on the video. As I said before, I always edit all my videos twice. So I do my main edit of the video, putting all the text, the pictures, like the cuts and whatever I need to do in regards to that, right? And then I do a second edit because 90% of the time I mess something up. Whether that's I leave the same clip in twice, or I just don't trim a clip short enough, or there's like an awkward transition, I forget to put in the text, I forget to put in a picture, I spelled the text wrong, like little mistakes like that, I always do a second edit. I would say most of my video, like 70% of the work is done whenever I do the first edit, and then the other 30 is cleaning it up. And sometimes I will go back and do it another time. It really depends on the video. But yeah, generally I do 2 like actual edits on my video. And I stayed up all night working for this one. My 5th edit is the one that made the cut because I kept getting copyrighted for multiple songs over and over again, so it was a lot to deal with in regards to that. The performance on this video was fine. I think it has like 90 views, 95, something around there, so it's picked up a little bit ever since I posted it, so that's definitely something there, and people seem to have enjoyed the video, so I can definitely appreciate it for what it is. After I recorded this video, I took a few days off because I remember like that specific week I was just going and going and going, because sometimes it's like I do videos and then like something else comes out, I'm like I need to react to that, and just keeps happening. Like, it was one week I basically like I would do a video, react to something, and be like, okay, now I can take a break, and then it just kept happening for like 4 days straight. Like I was always recording videos, and normally whenever I record videos I have the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna shoot this video today, like this is what I'm gonna record. Sometimes it gets moved around, but normally I know, okay, this day I'm gonna record. So whenever I'm not expecting to record a video, it kind of just like throws everything off. And so I was doing that like this particular week, just video after video after video. I think I did like 4 videos that week because I think I did 3 videos on my main channel and 1 video on my second channel, you know, something around there at that time. And so because of all that, it's just a lot because I do everything myself, you know, the editing, the thumbnail, all that stuff takes time, and it's a lot, especially whenever for a lot of my videos recently I've been staying up like all night to work on them. That definitely takes a toll on me. And so because of that, I just needed to take a break. Normally I do that between a lot of my uploads anyways. I'll do a video, I'll take a little break, and then I'll record another video and so on. But every once in a while I just get busy with stuff I want to react to and make videos on. So that's kind of what happened around here, and I was like, after I do this video I definitely need a break. And so I just took a few days off. The next video that I did was me sharing my top 10 Rihanna songs. It took me around 30 minutes and 30 seconds to edit. So how I came up with this video basically is I had done a bunch of reaction videos at that point, and I said I like doing both for multiple reasons, but I really wanted to do another talking video. I really like doing the talking videos just because they take significantly less time to edit, and so I was just like, I don't feel like doing another reaction. Like I feel like I've done enough of them at that point. Like I just wanted to do something else. So I was kind of thinking, I was like, what would be a great talking video for me to do? And then I just came up with this one. I was like, you know, I haven't done a video on Rihanna officially. I think it would be something fun to do. And so that's how I came up with this. And so coming up with these songs, I had most of the songs ready that I was going to pick. But then the way that I did everything was just because like I came up with this video like a day before, something around there. So obviously it's going to take me a bit to listen to her entire discography. That's time I don't have. So basically I would go into an album from her. I would listen to like the first minute of the song. If it grabbed me, I would finish it. If not, I would skip to the next song. So I could kind of get an idea of what these songs sounded like and whatever. And that's how I came across Get It Over With from the Unapologetic album. And I was like, yeah, I have to add that to my list and whatever. And so that's kind of like something there, but it was interesting to kind of reintroduce myself to her catalog in that regard. So I'm really happy with how this video turned out in regards to that. And I had to upload this one 3 times because I had small things to fix. In terms of the performance on this video, it did alright for me, so I'm definitely thankful for it in that regard. And as I said in my last video, I was ahead of my time because I literally did this video and then like 2 or 3 weeks later they announced that she was doing the Super Bowl. And my timing kind of ate with that. Like I was not expecting for that to happen. One thing I also wanted to say in reference to this video is I don't really like how I look in the thumbnail. Like the photo of me smiling did not look good at all. Sometimes I post for the thumbnail and you can like see the ring light in it and I'm like, dang, I can't use that for the thumbnail, so I have to use another frame. And that's the frame I picked. I don't really care for the thumbnail all that much. I think that the pictures look great, but on the whole, not one of my favorite thumbnails. The next video that I did was my reaction to YOLO's Walk Through Fire album, the deluxe edition. It took me around 2 hours and 52 minutes to edit. So I had a song reaction that I did not like the song, so I was like, I'm not gonna upload this. I tried some other albums, did not like them at all. And then I remember that I still had not gotten to listen to this album yet. So I was like, it's a perfect time to do another video on Yola. And I'm really glad that I did because this album was really fun to listen to, has some great tracks on it. I edited half of the video the night that I recorded it, and then the next day is whenever I finished it up. My first upload is the one that made the cut for this video, which is nice. And then the lighting for this one is something that I didn't particularly care for. The lighting is a hit or a miss sometimes. That's why I said in my last video that I try to do checks. So I'll take a few minutes to set up my camera because it always takes me a second to get the exact angle that I want, right? And then have the lighting, because sometimes the light moves over slightly, and if it moves over slightly, it ruins everything whenever I put the effects on it or whatever. So I want everything to look right. Sometimes I do the checks, sometimes I don't. It really depends on the video. And then when I don't, I kind of regret it just because like the whole video just looks like trash or whatever. So I remember not particularly caring for the lighting in this video, but it is what it is. And in terms of the performance of the video, absolutely tanked. Like, it took a bit for this video to get to 20 views. Like I said, if I have a decent video, I can normally pull 20 views in the first day, no problem, potentially more depending on what the video is. But yeah, this video really struggled. It was like number 10 in my creator studio, and it's kind of expected because Yola more so is like of a country artist, something around there, like alternative and stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of my viewers aren't really particularly fond of that genre, more so liking R&B and stuff like that, which I totally understand. I prefer R&B and pop over country and stuff like that. I think a lot of people just like weren't interested in this video, and so it kind of is what it is in that regard. I think it's gained a little bit of traction since I posted it, but not much really. The next video that I did was my vinyl haul on this channel with Mariah, Stevie Wonder, Yola, and Beyonce. It took me around 33 minutes to edit there. So for this one, it took me a second to get the thumbnail just right because I noticed that I should be shooting the thumbnails before I do the video, before I open everything up, just so it has like the hype stickers on and it looks better that way. So it took me a second to get everything right. I like to call that art direction because it makes it sound fancier and more sophisticated than it actually is, just for fun. I did multiple thumbnails, and then at the end I ended up just having two because it just looked better that way, and then you have to turn them a certain way so the light's not like reflecting off of it. So it took me a bit before I even got to open the record, so that was a whole thing. And I do enjoy videos where I open up vinyl on here, but the only thing that I don't like is it's always such a challenge again to make sure that the light is just not reflecting and just showing a bunch of stuff it doesn't need to show, and that I'm getting the vinyl. So a lot of times, you know, I take it out and I'm showing it to you guys. I record that multiple times because I can't really see myself because I'm holding it up, so I'm just hoping at some point I hold it correctly to where a bunch of stuff isn't showing. And sometimes I fail, sometimes it's okay. Like always the part I hate the most because it's challenging to get everything off. And then especially whenever I have the record, like before I open it and everything, and it has like the plastic off it, that reflects too, so I'm always trying to hold that a certain way. So basically I try to get the plastic wrapping off of it as soon as possible because it's just a lot easier to handle it that way. That's always a challenge to do whenever I'm making videos regarding vinyl on this channel, right? But whenever you have 4 different records and I'm constantly thinking about that every single time, it's just something that takes a little bit more. And so that's definitely something to know, but I really had fun doing this video. I'm glad that I finally got it out. And so in terms of the views on this video, I thought it would be more successful than it was because I had multiple different records in this video, but it is what it is. It still did decently for me in regards to the views, so I'm happy with it. And also something about this video is that this is the first one where you can see the haircut that I got. It's not something that's really noticeable. Like, we cut off a decent amount of hair, but if I didn't know that I got a haircut, then I wouldn't have noticed the difference because it's not as big of a difference as you would think in that video or something, but that's something I wanted to know. And it was the first haircut I got in like a year or whatever, so I'm happy with that. Next video that I did was me sharing my thoughts on Janet Jackson's Damita Jo album. It took me around an hour and 22 minutes to edit. So this one was a challenge to record. Sometimes I go into record videos and they are just so hard for me to get the words out correctly, and so it's an entire thing. And I remember getting that comment. It was like, oh, I'm surprised how you talk so fast and you don't like trip up over your words or whatever. And I do. I just edit all that out, trust me. And even if I were to talk slower, I mess up my words the same, if not more. Like, it just is what it is. I have to often say what I'm thinking multiple times to get it right, and I have to do a lot of editing in that regard. So just even getting the intro, like the part with my disclaimers, I was just struggling so hard on that part, and it took me forever to nail. So that was already a challenge before I even got into the video, right? And then for this video, I did 2 takes. I used most of the second take as I always do, probably like a clip from the first take. So I actually uploaded this video about 3 times. So I accidentally disabled a clip in Final Cut Pro. I still don't know how you do that. Like, I accidentally hit the wrong keys almost every time I do a video, and I have to undo that. It's not something I consciously try to do. I guess it's just something that happens. And I noticed it because while I was uploading the video, I was checking to see another clip for the thumbnail. Then I saw that happened, so then I had to cancel the upload on my iPad, and then I had to re-export it and upload it again. Then as I was re-uploading it again, I noticed that I wanted to add in my thoughts on the era as a whole. And something I wanted to say, I really wish I would have done that for the All For You era because the era was absolutely excellent. I wish I would have had that part in the video. I don't know why I didn't necessarily think to do that at the time, and I think because of that and just thinking about it, I was like, no, like, what would you do it for this era? So then I had to go back and do that. So yeah, 3 times uploading the video as a whole. And so overall, I'm satisfied with how the video turned out. And here's something interesting about that video. If you look at the thumbnail, I'm not smiling in that. It's just a screen grab of me talking or whatever. Why did I choose to do it that way? Let me tell you. So basically, I was looking through this one YouTuber's page, and you know, they didn't do like any thumbnails or anything. It was just like screen grabs of them talking or whatever. And I kind of liked how dynamic it looked. It was something different. And my sister pointed this out to me like a bit ago, but she would look at all my thumbnails and she was like, why do they all look the same? Like, why can't they be more dynamic? Even if I was doing a reaction like a year ago, I would still have, you know, a picture of me just like smiling forward and whatever. So to switch it up in regards to my reaction, I would just pick a frame from that video whenever I was just like smiling or whatever it was for the thumbnail to make it more dynamic. And then, you know, after seeing that YouTuber's page, I was like, you know what? I think I should start doing this for all of my videos. You know, of course, there'll still be videos where like I'm smiling or whatever, like a revisit with me, for example. I think I'll have that for all of them, and sometimes I will do it, but just to have it a little bit more dynamic, something that's a little bit more interesting in regards to that, not everything looking exactly the same, I was like, let me switch it up. And I just liked how that thumbnail looked better than the one with me smiling in it as well, because a lot of times whenever I do the intros for my videos, as I stated, I always smile at the beginning of the video because I'm posing for the thumbnail and it's just easier for me to do it that way. And so a lot of times, like, I'll just start hitting record over and over and over again because I don't look exactly how I want to look in regards to, I'm like, oh, like my smile didn't look how I wanted it to look or whatever. And yeah, so just to have it be more dynamic. So that's just something that I'm consciously doing and something I wanted to say. I'm happy with the reception of the video. People seem to be enjoying it. I got some great comments there, and so thankful for it in that regard. It didn't hit the views that I thought it was going to, just because Janet Jackson is such a huge artist and whatever, but this is the album after the Super Bowl incident and stuff like that. It's just really interesting to see how videos perform, because I always have an expectation of how I think it'll do, and it's just interesting to see the outcome of that. But overall, this video did decently in the views for me. I'm happy with how the video turned out. Really glad to do another video on Janet Jackson. She's one of my favorite artists ever. The next video that I did was my reaction to Mariah Carey's Butterfly, the bonus tracks for the 25th anniversary. It took me around 3 hours and 20 minutes to edit. I actually had to upload this video 4 times. I kept getting copyrighted for the Whenever You Call Do It with Brian McKnight, which was annoying to deal with. And I had to edit out so much of that. So sometimes whenever you see a reaction and you're like, wow, she didn't put much of that song. Sometimes it's because the song is repetitive and I'm like, I don't want to keep having this part over and over and over again, and are also more likely to copyright me because of that. Sometimes I just don't like the song and I want it to be over. And the third reason is sometimes they copyright me so much on that song, and so basically whatever you're seeing on the song is as much as they would allow me to put in. So that's kind of like what happened with it in that regard. But I'm really thrilled with how the thumbnail turned out. And something interesting for this video in particular is there was only like one other person who uploaded a reaction to the bonus tracks for the anniversary of this album, and I didn't even see that until I searched the results for it like a week later, because I searched it at the time to see if anyone else had uploaded something, and I was the only one. So I guess they didn't have everything right, so it showed up in the algorithm or whatever. But that's always something interesting to me, because, you know, I say all the time, I upload all these videos on these different artists and I'm like, I'm sure someone's done a video on that already. Sometimes I look it up and I'm like, no one's done a video on that specific thing. Like I said, for a bunch of older artists, they'll do like song reactions. They don't necessarily do album reactions. So I can be the only one to do album reaction for Aretha, for example, and everyone else is just doing the singles. And so it's something that's always really fascinating to me, especially for such a huge artist like Mariah. So basically, due to me being the only one, at least at the time that I could see in the algorithm, who uploaded that, was getting, you know, all the people who were interested in that to me. Because if you look at your videos in the creator studio, it kind of breaks down like how people found your channel. Sometimes they find it through subscription feed on the homepage. Sometimes they specifically search up what you do. A lot of that was from people searching up for a reaction to that. So that was kind of cool in that regard. I think that video had over like 600 views. I think it did like double the views that I was expecting. I think I expected like 200 to 300. So it kind of shattered my expectations, which is something that was nice, because this video took me a lot longer to finish than I thought it was going to, but I still had a lot of fun doing that video and just revisiting everything, and it works perfectly to go along with my revisit with me that I did on the Butterfly album as well. So I'm really thrilled with that video in every single regard. And I had another video on Mariah I was going to do that month, and then I didn't do it because this came up, and I thought about doing it, but then I'm like, I already did a video on Mariah, like I'll just do whatever I was thinking of the next month. And so that's kind of like what happened in regards to that, but happy with the video overall. The next video that I did was my reaction to Rina Sawayama's Hold the Girl album. It took me around 4 hours and 54 minutes to edit. So I filmed this the same day that I did the Mariah video, just because it'd be more convenient. You know, I filmed the Mariah video and I was like, okay, I can film this, I can edit it, post it, and then the next day I can wake up and I can do the Rina video and edit and post it. But I was like, it would be so much easier if I just filmed them back to back. And just because I wouldn't have to get ready the next day and do everything all over again, like I'm already here, I would already have the footage. So whenever I'm done with the Mariah thing and I have time, I can start working on the Rina video instead of having to film it. So that's basically why I filmed them back to back. I don't know if I've ever filmed 2 album reactions on the same day like this, before, honestly, because normally I'll film something one day and then I'll come back to something, you know, the next day after that. Normally I don't do something like that because it takes a lot out of you to do that, and that's kind of like what happened in regards to that. And so basically, like, I felt like a little bit of a headache starting to come on, and the last thing that you want to hear whenever a headache starts to come on is like some loud noise. And while I was enjoying the music, it was kind of like irritating my head a little bit. I was just trying to like get through filming that video and whatever, and so yeah, it was a lot to deal with. Basically, I did the Mariah video first just because that's what I was more interested in. I know that's what the subscribers would be more interested in as well. I told you guys in the community tab like what the whole situation was, just so you guys can know what to look forward to, because I hadn't uploaded in a few days at that point. Sometimes I like to do that just to show you guys what is coming up as well. So I got the Mariah video done and I was up until I think like 11 a.m. something like that. I was up like ridiculously late working on the thing. You guys have no idea. And like I said, that's when the Vinyl Me Please, the gold nugget variant of the Butterfly album, the deluxe edition, came out, so I bought that as well. So that's kind of why the timing was good, because I was a member and that's all fast because there's only 1,000 copies, so there was kind of like a benefit in that. But basically I was up until like 11. I think that also accounts for me promoting the video. You know, I posted on my Twitter, my Instagram, I screen recorded the video and put it on my TikTok and stuff like that. For my TikTok, for that video, it kept getting copyrighted, so I had to keep editing it to where it could stay on the platform as well. So that's definitely something to note. So yeah, posted the Mariah video, was up late for that, and then I kind of just like carried on about my day, basically did everything I needed to do, ate and whatever. I started editing the Rihanna video. I was up all night hammering that out and just getting that ready as well. And then I had to upload it twice. And the first time it got copyrighted, and then I realized whenever I was watching it back, I could have had some of those little Spotify cards a little bit higher, and I accidentally cut a part that wasn't necessary. And I only watched that video once before I let you guys see it, and it's kind of weird because sometimes I would do videos, right, and I would watch it through a couple times in YouTube Creator Studio before I let you guys see it, because I do make mistakes. I'm a person, like, it is what it is in that regard, and just to make sure I have everything right. But lately I guess I've been getting lazy and like I'll, you know, edit the video like I said multiple times, and then I'll just watch it and then I'll put it out. But I normally always notice like small little things like that or whatever, but I just had to get the video out at that point. Also, Mariah was on a Twitter space at that point, so I was trying to multitask, listening to that space and also getting everything right for that video and getting it out. So I guess it was like kind of like a little bit sloppy in that regard. Like, if that's the worst mistake I make in a video, then that is really not that bad in the grand scheme of things, so it's not that big of a deal, but that's something to say also.
So I just noticed that I completely forgot to talk about the performance of this video, and this video actually did really well for me because I was like late to kind of posting this video because it was out on Saturday, whatever. I know a lot of people post the reactions like a day after, it's pretty standard, but for my reactions to new stuff, I try to get it out like the day of, so if something comes out Thursday night, I'll react to it and have it out by Friday or whatever. But like I said, Mariah came first and then this came after, so with everything, I was honestly expecting to get like 500 views on this video, and this also shattered my expectations because I got like 1,500 views on this video, which is outstanding for me. And as I said before, whenever a video hits like 1,000 views for me, like that is a video that performed really well for me, and so I'm just really thankful for it in that regard, because honestly I was not expecting that at all, but people seem to enjoy the video. Another thing I wanted to say is that my little voiceover about your age, I was kind of debating to even put that in because I still kind of feel split on the song or whatever. Like, part of me is like I shouldn't put it in because I don't really mind the song that much as a whole. I think I just like it less compared to the other songs on the record, but I like it more than Imagining, for example. But those are a few notes I was like, I have to add that in about this album because I completely forgot.
The next video that I did was my reaction to Flo's song Not My Job. This took me around 24 minutes and 9 seconds to edit. So basically it was supposed to come out one day, I don't remember what that day was, and then they delayed it, okay? And then I got ready to film it on Tuesday night, I believe. And then I looked, I was like, let me make sure that they are going to actually have it out, because like I was mostly ready to film the video, but I wasn't all the way ready. So I was like, before I finish getting ready, let me make sure that it actually comes out today, so I don't finish getting ready and then I have nothing, you know, basically. And so then they were like, oh, it comes out tomorrow at this time. So I was like, great, well, I'm just not gonna film a video today, because I could have done something else, but I just didn't want to. Like, this was gonna be a really easy video for me to do, as song reactions are. So I was like, I'll just get up and I will get ready the next day. And like I said before, a lot of times artists will release songs or music videos at like 9 a.m. where I live or whatever, and I can't film at that time just because like it's loud during the day, so I have to wait hours and hours and hours before I'm able to film. That's why I'm late sometimes in regards to song reactions and music video reactions and things like that, because the noise is just loud and it's going to get in and ruin the audio, so I'd rather just wait to film the video in regards to that. And so basically I just waited to film it until the next day, and it was really easy for me to do. That's why I like doing song reactions, because they don't really take that much effort for me to edit and do the thumbnail for, and I always do decently on the views, and that's exactly what this one did. It has over like 600 views on the channel. Very satisfied with that. I love the song, I love what Flo is doing, excited to see what they have going on next. The next video that I did was My Unpopular Opinions Music Edition Part 4. It took me around 2 hours and 5 minutes to edit. So basically, the story for this video was interesting because I filmed a reaction for EP I just did not like at all. I was like, I'm not posting this, right? And I tried a couple albums, but they just were not hitting. Like, they just were not as good as I wanted. And like I said, a lot of times whenever I do album reactions, it has to be something really good because they always take me hours and hours to edit, and I don't want to sit and edit something that I'm just not really enjoying for the most part. And so nothing was really clicking for me. So then I was just kind of scrambling for ideas in my head. I kind of didn't want to do any more album reactions. Like, I was just kind of done with it. And I filmed multiple things. Like, I tried like getting a few songs in, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do this, right? And so then I was looking through my notes, and I was like, you know what? I could do this Unpopular Opinions video. I could do it. The thing that was really throwing me off about it is, like I said, whenever I sit down and record videos, I always have a fundamental understanding of, okay, this is the video that I'm sitting down to record today. Sometimes that changes because, you know, I sit down to react to something, I don't like it, I'm like, okay, let me find something else. You know, I have an understanding if I record an album reaction, I might not like it and then go on to something else. But for this one, I wasn't really expecting to have a backup plan. I don't know.
Something else I wanted to say is whenever I get ready and I sit down and I record a video, like an album reaction, for example, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this album, I immediately am going to try and switch to something else because it's a whole thing getting ready and sitting down and recording a video. So I at least try to come out of these sessions with something. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've gotten ready to record a video and just nothing happened because I couldn't find anything I was interested in, whatever, and I just gave up. But normally I try to stick it out and try a few ideas before I just completely abandon it because, like I said, it's a whole thing to get ready. So I'm like, I might as well come out of this with something. And so that's kind of my mentality for most things. It's pretty rare that I just record and then I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to post any of this, and then I go back another day.
So I was kind of just like looking around. I was like, you know what? Maybe let's try the Unpopular Opinions video. It wasn't what I sat down to record. Like, whenever I wake up that day to record a video, it's on my mind, okay, this is the video that I'm going to record. And I get in a certain headspace. And so I wasn't necessarily waking up that day being like, oh, I'm going to record my next Unpopular Opinions video because it just wasn't something that I felt like I had finished writing, basically. I write these over time, so I'll see something on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is that annoys me about the music industry, and that's why I wasn't really ready to film the video. I thought it was probably going to come like the week after that or whatever, like I would think of something or whatever, and I just didn't feel like I was done writing it at that point. Like, I felt like I had more opinions that I could have. So I did this video, and I feel like I did 2 takes on it, something like that, and I'm pretty sure I used most of the second take and part of the first take like normal. The hardest part for me to do was the part whenever I was talking about how Adele is overrated vocally, and me basically taking the time to defend Beyoncé and Mariah and Whitney. The Mariah part is the one that really got me the most. The Whitney and the Beyoncé parts, not so much, even though I struggle a little bit. Also, another thing that I wanted to state is for these videos, I just write the opinion down. So I'll just write, for example, Adele's overrated vocally. The rest of it, I am just spontaneously talking off the top of my head and just saying things. That's kind of why it's a struggle for me to record those videos, just to make sure I get everything right. And I kind of have an idea what I'm going to say before I shoot the video, for example, like in my head. And I'll kind of like say it, and I'll just like add some stuff over top of it. It just depends on how I'm feeling in that moment. And even after I recorded this video, I still wasn't 100% if I was even gonna upload the video. I was like, you know, maybe I'll save it for another day. Let me try another album reaction. I got like 6 songs in. And then I gave up on that album, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna edit this video. And I kind of wanted to get that video out at that point already, just because I wanted to do another talking video for 1. And then for 2, I kind of wanted to talk about that whole thing about Adele being overrated vocally, because it's something that comes on Twitter every once in a while. I really thought about building an entire video around it actually and just talking about that topic. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But then I was like, you know, what if I just threw it in that video, and I felt like it would be something that did good for me. Whenever I make these videos, the entire point of it is for me to talk about one of my opinions for like 3 minutes at max. The entire thing with Adele was like 10 minutes because I was talking about multiple people and kind of talking about their vocal talents and stuff like that, which it kind of is what it is. I feel like I needed to go in depth with that and kind of like explain whatever. And so that's why that one was longer than normal. But normally I'm only expecting to talk about that subject for like 2 or 3 minutes and then just move on to the next one. And I know TikTok helped me on this video because I posted this clip of me talking about how Beyonce is not giving her flowers as vocalist and all that kind of stuff. And that got like 300 or 400 likes, which is amazing for me. I believe it's my 2nd most popular TikTok of all time, behind me talking about why Mariah is the best singer-songwriter of all time in my opinion. And I saw some people talking about it on Twitter because, like I said, someone reposted my TikTok on Twitter and they were like, oh, well, why didn't you talk more about Mariah's songwriting? First of all, I talked about multiple albums you can check out in regards to songwriting: Daydream, Butterfly, and I also talked about Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel.
Another thing that I wanted to state in regards to that whole Mariah thing and people saying, oh, you didn't go in depth enough with it. Like I said, this whole thing is just meant to be me talking about something for 2 to 3 minutes. But something else I thought was important is that it kind of worked perfectly because that entire segment was long enough for me to post onto a TikTok, onto a Twitter. If I kept going, I wouldn't really have gotten all my points in such a concise manner and whatever. So it kind of works great for that format. And like I said, I could have done an entire video on it, but that's kind of the point of these videos is that it's just me talking about something for a few minutes. Also, something that I wanted to add is that if I would have kept going, the clip would have been too long to post on Twitter because they have a limit for how long clips can be. And some people are able to post longer stuff, but at least for my account, I'm not able to. And then also on TikTok, at the time, the longest clip that you could post was like 3 minutes. Now they've extended it and it's like 10 minutes, but at the time you only had 3 minutes. So again, like part of my point would have got cut off. So it really works for the format and to have everything in a concise manner so you can get exactly what the point is and then just kind of like move on. But I feel like I provided enough evidence to back up my point, and so that's another thing that's really important for these segments as well.
So I definitely think that helped me because I have like 200 views on this. I think it's like 250, 260, something around there. But I'm thankful for how that helped me, and I just really love the video overall. So that's kind of like how everything came to fruition in terms of that video. I really like how the thumbnail turned out as well, and I'm just really happy with the video overall. I really enjoy doing the unpopular opinions videos, and I feel like you can kind of see my growth in each installment that I do. But as I said before, I also really like these videos because they show a different side of my personality. Like I said, I am a multifaceted person. Sometimes I come in, I'm more relaxed about what I'm talking about. Sometimes I'm more passionate, I'm more fire in delivery. You know, it just really depends on how I'm feeling that day. And there was a lot of fun to do. You guys always seem to enjoy them. The next video that I did was my review, Don't Worry Darling with my sister. And so I basically titled it like Don't Worry Darling Review with My Sister, Miss Flow 8. And I just think that that's a great title. It took me around an hour and 53 minutes to edit. And so we actually filmed this video the day that we watched the movie. We got home, we changed clothes, and then we shot the video. Because I asked my sister when she wanted to do the video, and she was like, oh, on like Saturday. And we saw the movie on like Monday. I was like, no, like we need to get this video done as soon as possible. That way our minds are fresh in regards to how we feel about the movie. Because the longer you wait, the more details that you're gonna forget. So she was like, okay. So we filmed it whenever we got home. And in terms of the format of the video, it is kind of messy. In my defense, I told her, I was like, hey, I feel like we should look up, you know, a summary of the movie and plot points just so we make sure we're getting the main points of the movie and everything is good and we don't get confused about what happened. She was like, no, I remember everything. I'm gonna leave the video. We don't need to do that. And then you look at the video and then it's kind of like a mess in that regard. Not as organized as I would have liked and whatever. And I think mid-video even she admitted that. I'm like, well, I told you I wanted to look up a summary of what happened in the movie and this is what happens in regards to that. And then I wanted to film the video again because like I said, I always film the talking videos twice and it is something that has saved me time and time and time again. And so I swear by doing all of my sit-down videos twice for the most part. But she didn't want to do it again. She was like, the first take is going to be enough. So we only did one take for that video actually. But it was really, really fun to do. We had such a great time and I do think that it's our best video together. I feel like we got a lot of great jokes there and it was just something that I was happy to do. Now every time my sister and I do videos, we shoot the video and then at this point I'm editing the video by myself. And so I do the entire edit of the video and then I show it to her and I'm like, okay, what do you think? Do you approve of this video before it goes out? And normally she's like, okay, take this part out, because sometimes she makes jokes but she doesn't tell me it's a joke until after. So she'll be like, oh, this part was a joke. So then I have to go edit that part, or oh, I was just explaining something to you, or oh, I don't like this part anymore, take it out because now it's making me cringe. So like stuff like that. And she had notes she wanted me to put in terms of like text on the screen. So then I did that. She had like 6 or 7 notes. So then I had to go back and do that for the video as well before I uploaded it. But I do think that this is our best video together so far on the whole. And I definitely thought that this had potential to be something that could be successful for me because I just still think that it's a great video whenever. And I think a reason why is I feel like we took too long to start talking about the movie. I kind of wanted to go in talking about the movie and whatever, and she wanted to talk about the movie experience. So we didn't really start talking about the movie till like 4 minutes in, and a lot of people had tuned out by that point or whatever. I did put the timestamp and like it is what it is, so maybe if the video was structured differently, it could have been more successful in that regard. But it's also like it was a movie review with something different that I don't normally do on the channel as well. And so yeah, sometimes you think a video is going to be a hit, sometimes it's not, and sometimes, you know, vice versa. So it's just something to think about. So I thought that this could be something that was going to be successful, but I didn't have my mind fixated on that. I was like, if it's successful, that's great. If it's not, it is what it is in that regard. And then I was also up all night working on this video, I'm pretty sure. That's definitely something I wanted to state there. And then like I said, I had the whole thing of not everyone gets this opportunity. Like that part stuck in my head like forever after. Like it was so hard for me to sleep like the night before we watched the movie just because like it was in my head. Like I could not fall asleep. Like I struggled so hard because I kept thinking about that part as well. But I'm through with that video. I think it has done better in the views now because I think it tanked when I first posted it. And now I think it has like 60, 70, 80 views. Something around there. I forget what the exact numbers are. But it did okay for me. And so that stuff is something I wanted to say there. I know that it's something different than I normally do. But this is a video we talked about for months. And I'm glad that we finally got to do it. Next was my reaction to Paramore's song This Is Why. It took me around 25 minutes and 31 seconds to edit. So this was just going to be something easy to do. I figured you guys would enjoy it because, you know, you like the reactions and videos about music and whatever. And I like Paramore and I hadn't done a video on them at that point. So I was like, this would be perfect to do. And so that's kind of like how everything came to fruition there. And I believe I was really late on this video again because like I said, when you release a song like really early in the day and I have to wait because it's loud during the day. So I had to wait multiple hours just to be able to record the video. video, so that was an entire thing, but got the video out then. Then another reason why I did this video is because, like I said, I just did the Don't Worry Darling video, which is about a movie. People are subscribed to my channel for the music, so I knew that would be kind of jarring because, you know, you look at the subscription tab and you're like, hey, this is what I was necessarily expecting in that regard. So I'm like, let me upload another video that is music related for everyone. The video also did decently for me in views, so I'm thankful for that. The next video that I did was on this channel. I was reviewing Mariah's performance at Global Citizen Fest, talking about some Butterfly 25 stuff, talking about Rihanna, Abbott Elementary, all that stuff. So it took me around 3 hours and 13 minutes to edit. And so for this video, I recorded the part whenever I was talking about Global Citizen Fest twice, I'm pretty sure. And then I re-recorded some other parts of the video, like whenever I was talking about my new camera setup and just like added in little parts there, but a lot of other stuff is just only recorded one time. So the raw footage for this video is like an hour and a half. So this video didn't perform how I expected it to, because I posted my TikToks talking about Mariah's performance and the We Belong Together part specifically, like 60 or 70, like something around there. And so I figured it would translate more to the video, but it didn't. I mean, I have like 60 or 70 views on this video, but I think in comparison to my other videos and all that kind of stuff, I was just expecting it to be bigger. And it kind of like is what it is in that regard. And that's kind of the curse of doing all these vinyl videos, even though I enjoy doing them because I'm able to be more active on this channel and whatever, which is something that is important to me and just keep this channel a little bit more alive. Like videos like this are now quote unquote underperforming, even though, like I said, the videos really aren't that bad or whatever. So that's definitely something. And that's why I kind of like this channel, just because I can just post what I want and go. Like, I'm not really worried as much about the views. Like, even if a video quote unquote tanks on this channel, like it still like shows that it does better because like the metrics were lower and stuff. And now I'm posting these vinyl videos and they're getting like decent views. Everything else is kind of like skewed in comparison. I think that's the best way to kind of describe it in that regard. And now I find myself being like, oh, I need to post like this kind of video to have my views back at this kind of point. I want this video to be at this and blah 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 out of 10 or whatever. And that's not supposed to be the point of this channel. I'm just supposed to be able to post whatever I want and go and just not really necessarily worry about like the views or whatever it is. And as I said before, I'm really thankful for the views and engagement I get on my videos on this channel and on the main channel. I can't explain how much that means to me and everything. And that's definitely something that I don't take for granted. And I don't want it to come across like, oh, I'm complaining. Like whenever I say like, oh, this video flops, whatever, it's not meant to be shady at you all or whatever it is. Something I want to say is I just enjoy talking about the process of all my videos, right? I enjoy talking about how did I come up with the idea, the shooting of the video, how it was for me to just edit it and put it out. How did I think it was going to perform versus how did it actually end up performing? I just think the entire thing is interesting. So that's just like another metric that I wanted to add. And I also just like to reflect, you know, how did everything come to fruition in the end? What can I learn from this? What can I do better? Because at the end of it, one thing that's really important is connecting with everyone who's watching the videos. And if I see less views on a video than normal, then sometimes that just means that I'm not doing something right. I'm not doing something that's connecting with everyone that people are enjoying. And that's definitely important to me because I do put in a lot of effort for the videos and whatever. So it's more so a reflection of myself and a critique of myself and just what I'm putting out there versus a reflection on, you know, you guys or whatever. And I just hope it doesn't come off like in a negative way or whatever. I just like talking about everything like in retrospect and all that kind of stuff. And so this is something that's like really important for me to address because I don't want it to get twisted, like what I'm trying to do. So I just really just like to reflect on how everything is coming across to you guys. Are you enjoying it? And what can I do better in the future? So that's definitely something important. I'm just saying in reference to, you know, what I had been doing before, this was 10 out of 10 because I have been doing the vinyl videos and those have been doing decently for me on the whole. And so it's skewed everything basically. And so whenever I record videos, I feel like there's more of a pressure on myself for it to be successful. So I kind of feel away if it doesn't get to a certain threshold where so before I didn't really care as much because even if I were to get like 20 views or whatever it is on a video, it would still be like 2 out of 10 because the standards are lower. But now the standards have gone higher because of the vinyl stuff. So that's how I'm trying to explain it. Like, I just want that to come across. Like, I'm not blaming anybody or anything at all. I just like to reflect on the whole, how everything is done and why it's kind of come to that point and just learn as much as I can because I want to make videos that connect with people. And obviously, I understand that sometimes people just aren't going to be interested in the topics, and that's 100% okay. I upload videos because I really enjoy doing this thing, and I also want to have stuff that connects with you. So it's just really putting everything together.
So overall, this video was a challenge to edit because as you see, there's many pictures that I had to include throughout the entire thing. So it's always a lot trying to get everything together before I do these videos and just finding things. So that's always a lot. And then there was the entire thing of just editing the video and just getting everything right. So it's kind of always a challenge for the most part to do these videos, like I say, just because there's so much that goes into it in terms of editing and voiceovers and whatever. But on the whole, I had a lot of fun making this video and sharing my thoughts on the Mariah stuff and just everything. And I actually did redo the thumbnail on this one, because basically, and then I found the edit that someone did for the 25th anniversary Butterfly, and because I was talking about that, I thought it would just look a lot more appealing, and so I did switch the thumbnail. But on the whole, I am proud of the video at the end of the day, and I feel like with each one of these, I'm just getting better and expressing my thoughts and my personality coming through, and so they're always really fun to do.
The last video that I did was my revisit with me on Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions album. It took me around 2 hours and 47 minutes to edit. So I really enjoyed doing this video. This was the revisit with me I talked about last month that I considered doing because I know it wouldn't take me as long as the one I did last month, which was the Little Sims video, right? And then I was like, no, like, let me do a Little Sims video now. Like, I can do Stevie next month. And so I finally got around to doing this video. A few months ago, I was talking about Rina Sawayama. Like, it was a video I was thinking about doing, but I hadn't finished writing it yet. And then eventually it did come out. And then I said I had 2 other videos that I was thinking about what format I wanted to do that in, whether that was going to be a revisit with me or a talking video. And so yeah, this was one of those videos because originally I started it as a talking video and I switched it to a revisit with me just because I really enjoy doing those videos, and also because it's like some music is so wonderful. I just want to be able to experience it together instead of just talking about it, because you can only say so much in words, you know, so I really wanted to have the music in, so that's why I did it for this particular month, right? But overall, I had a really good time doing this one, and there was more information on this album that I thought, because whenever I was researching, I swear I couldn't find that much information, but I guess just glancing over everything again with the Wikipedia and the Genius together, I was able to find more information than expected and shed some light on the album, so I'm really thankful for it in that regard. And so it was just a really great video to do, and I feel like it adds so much to my catalog. And it had been months since I did a video on Stevie, so I was like, the next time I do one, I'm definitely doing the video on Inner Visions because I love the album very much. And I'm glad that people seem to be connecting with the video. You know, I got a few comments on people talking about their memories with the album and stuff like that, and so that was always really nice to read. I always really appreciate comments like that, or like, thank you for making this video or whatever, because it just means a lot whenever people click on a video and they're like, thank you for making this, or, you know, I enjoyed this. That means more to me than I could really ever say, because it just is something that I feel is such a huge compliment as well, and so I got a few of those comments. So I was very thankful for it in that regard. In the broad scheme of things, it technically flopped because I think it has like 30 something views, something around there as a whole. But like I said, I'm just still thankful for the engagement, and I had such a great time making this video. I honestly don't really mind that much. I know a lot of times, as I said before, when I make videos on male musicians, they tend not to do the same numbers that my videos on women do. I think my audience is just more interested in videos on women, as I am as well, and I think that's mainly like why, and I'm sure there's other reasons that play into it, but I feel like that's the main reason why as well. But I had a great time doing the video. And then one thing I realized I forgot to mention is there's like this gel I basically been putting in my hair to kind of like tame it down a little bit, so it like looks a lot better. Everything's laying a lot more flat now. I think I started using this in like August, something around there. That's definitely something that I wanted to know in terms of like my overall like appearance, whatever. But yeah, I've been using that before videos, and I get varying results. Sometimes it looks better, but like it kind of is what it is in that regard. But that is going to be it for all the videos that I did in September on my main channel and on this channel as well. And wow, I got a lot of great things out there, and I'm just really thrilled with how everything came to fruition on the whole. And so that's kind of like my reflection overall there. And I got a lot of great content coming. So I got some vinyl coming in, like I said, Midnights is coming in. I also have a few other records coming in that I will be doing unboxings of on this channel, so you can look forward to that. And then I'm going to the Harry Styles concert, so I will probably do a review for that on this channel, because whenever I went to the Paul McCartney concert, I did the same thing. And so I'll have little clips from the concert and stuff like that, and just tell you my general experience and stuff like that, just for fun. And this is the first concert I went to in years, so I'm very, very excited to go. And probably some other stuff. Like, I think October on the whole is going to be a busier month on this channel than September was, because like I said, I had the Harry concert and vinyl and stuff like that. So I'm just really thrilled for everything that I've got coming up, and so it's just gonna be a lot of fun to do. So I'm glad to make more videos for this channel. As always, I really enjoy doing it, especially having easy videos like the vinyl thing to do, or just like a one-off concert review. Like, they shouldn't take too much effort to do in terms of just a recording of video, and it just really all goes down to scheduling and what am I doing on my main channel. But I should have some more stuff coming this month on the channel, at least that's what I hope. So very excited for that. Another thing I wanted to say is, if you look at my main channel, you might notice that 2 of the videos are now gone and they are privated, and those are the videos that I did on Rex Orange County. And the reason why is due to these recent sexual assault allegations, and so due to that, I was like, I can't support him anymore. I don't want these videos out on my channel anymore, and so that is why they have been privated. This is a sensitive subject, this is a serious subject, and something important to state, and he definitely deserves to be held accountable for his actions and all that kind of stuff. And so that is why everything is gone from the channel as well. And also, continuing on with that, sometimes things might happen where I'm like, I don't stand by what this artist did, and I want to take down this video, no longer support them. And my opinion can basically change with time, with new information. Also, I wanted to say that my support for an artist can be revoked at any time, whether it's things that they did, that they said, like whatever it is, and my channel is a reflection of that. So if you look at my channel and you're like, oh, why is the video taken down? Sometimes I've grown and it's like, I don't like that video anymore, I don't like what I said or how I presented myself in that video or whatever. Sometimes it's something that the artist did. And then also in regards to, I know I reacted is one of his songs on this channel, and I keep forgetting, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back and just edit that out of the video just to have it out of there. So this is going to be a reminder to myself to edit that out, because I've been telling myself for days I'm going to edit it out, and I keep forgetting because I have other videos and stuff that I'm going to be doing. So that's something that is really important and something I wanted to state in regards to that. And then another thing I wanted to state is right now I'm kind of in planning next year mode. So I've been making these posts where I'm asking for suggestions from you guys for videos every single month, and so far I haven't really done any of them. They haven't really grabbed my eye. I've looked at some of them, and some of them just like aren't for me to do. Some of them I need to actually see like, do I want to do a video on this and kind of plan everything out. But I've been so much in a planning mode in terms of doing stuff or whatever, and basically the entire thing is like I've written down videos that I would like to do in November and December, and I have a really good idea of what I'm trying to do. And of course unexpected things could come up and things are gonna have to get pushed back or whatever it is in terms of that. So I'm just really in planning next year mode, and so because of that, I don't think I'm gonna be doing any more posts asking for you guys for videos to do in regards to it. Like, I think I'm gonna do another post asking you guys like what albums and songs were your favorite for this past year, just so I can see if there's anything that I'm missing out on that I want to add to my list and stuff like that. That's really important. But in terms of that, I don't think I'm going to be making any more of those posts because I have so many ideas and more to come, especially in December with the Christmas videos and the year-end list, and I have a lot on my plate in regards to that. I'm really excited for the ideas that I have coming up in terms of that. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is that my birthday is coming up. So I'm very excited for this. As I stated before, my birthday is on October 25th. So it is coming up very, very, very soon. My birthday is a day that I just have for me. Like, I don't work on any YouTube stuff at all. I just enjoy the day. And so I'm going to be turning 22 this year. So I'm just very much looking forward to that. And so in my next video, I'm kind of going to be talking about like what I learned like this past year, whatever, because I feel like there's a lot to share. So I'll talk about that a little bit in my next video. But this is just a good month for the most part. And so just more stuff is coming. So I'm really excited next month to kind of talk about my October recap because I'm still making videos right now. But I will say that I'm glad to be doing this video again. And I'm doing it now, like I said. I wanted to talk about some thoughts and predictions for Midnights before it comes out, 1. And 2, I wanted to have this done before my birthday because a lot of times this doesn't come to the end of the month. The end of the month is always chaotic for a lot of reasons, and I didn't want to add this to everything else that's going to be going on or whatever. So I'm really glad to have it done now. I'm very excited for you guys to see what I have planned in the future. I have some good stuff coming. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, give a like down below. It helps me out a lot in the YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe right down below if you want to see more videos like this. If you hit the bell, you get a notification to your phone when I post so you're not missing when new videos come out. The first link down below in the description is going to be my main channel, so if you want to see a lot more of me, definitely hit me up on there. Also going to have Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify if you'd like to follow me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.